Today is Friday, November the 6th. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. All right, where to start? Today's been interesting. I was a little bit down because I ordered a comforter for my bed, a new comforter for my bed. Because the one that I have, which you can't see it because it's only the regular bed sheets, but the comforter that I have is it's a little bit heavy, but not as heavy as I would like. And the temperature will be dropping, not low, but it's going to drop into like the 30s and the 40s now over the next few days. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get another comforter, which I had a big comforter before, but I got rid of it because it was just maintaining it was irritating. So I just got rid of it. And I haven't had a comforter for years. But the heavy, I don't even know if you want to call it a comforter. Whatever. The thing that goes on top of my bed, it's just really, it's heavy, but not heavy. And it's thin. And I've had that for a while now, and I've enjoyed it. But I was just like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get me a comforter again. Well, I had ordered it through Amazon and some more sheets, some more bed sheets. And Amazon had sent me an email saying that it would be delayed. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. And they said it would be delivered on, because it was supposed to be delivered on the 4th, I think. And they said it would be delayed until the 5th or the 6th. So I'm like, oh, well, today's the 6th. Let me see when it's coming, because I had all this other stuff coming, which the driver delivered it to the wrong door, but these are minor details. So I went through all my orders and I found it. And then come to find out, the orders had been canceled because due to whatever reasons, it wasn't just a delay with those particular items. It was just that they were undeliverable. So I'm just like, okay. I don't recall receiving that email. So then I had to order again today because I want the stuff this weekend, by this weekend. And some were going to arrive on Monday. And then there were a few other ones. And then I found one for tomorrow, which I haven't received the confirmation yet saying that they've shipped it, but hopefully they will have shipped it. And it will be arriving tomorrow, keeping my fingers crossed. If not, then I'm just going to go right on over to Wally World. For those of you who don't know, Wally World is Walmart. Go right on over to Wally World or Target and get me something. So that's where I'm at on that. I have to take a sip of my tea. So, yeah, other than that, it's just been mellow. I've had my moments, but I don't want to dwell on the negative. So it's not that type of mood. So I'm gonna skip past that and go right into my daily thought, which I have to mark this as explicit because even though I'm not using any foul language, the content of the conversation, even though this may not be a long conversation, the content is still a little bit racy. So this, if you are under the age of, I'll just say 16, I guess, then this probably is not for you. And hopefully, if you're under the age of 16, you're not listening to this anyway. So, yeah. All right. So, I have spent, how much have I spent? I think over the past month, maybe, I think I've spent like $100 to $200, which isn't a lot, but I mean, obviously I could have used it towards other things. I've spent it on OnlyFans, and it was subscribing to channels. And that's the thing about OnlyFans, is for the most part, and I understand that it's amateur stuff, so I get that. It's just, I wish people would, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, I wish people would, because I did an episode on OnlyFans discussing either people working on OnlyFans or something. I forgot what the episode was about, but I did an episode related to OnlyFans because it was about people making a living from that, which there's nothing wrong with that. If somebody wants to make a living from that, whatever. But also it goes to show you that's another example of you never really know people, because you could be dating someone, they could have had an OnlyFans account, and you wouldn't have even known about it unless you frequent the site, and then you're out with your significant other that you've been dating and getting to know, and then everybody just so happens to recognize who they are. So yeah, but I would, if okay, let me back this up. Everyone already knows where I stand on relationships. I'm old-fashioned. I'm into monogamy. So, just me and you. And if I were dating someone, if they had an OnlyFans account, or Just for Fans, that's the other one, or a Just for Fans account, then, and they had quit, then I wouldn't really care if it was still active. I might somewhat care, but I would be happier if they didn't have the account, as long as they're doing solo. If they're doing solo stuff, that would be cool. But if they were still, doing stuff with other people and all that, then no, that would not work at all. And that's just me. And on the solo thing, if I'm really into someone, then I mean that's their career. That's how they're making their money. And for some people just do it as a cash grab, where they go in, they work it for a year or two, and then they take the money, flip it. Felt like a nose hair was doing something. That's why I had to blow the air up. They take the money, flip it, and then they're off to doing something else that is not considered as taboo. And like I said, I don't judge. I have an opinion about things, but I don't judge. So to each his own when it comes to that. Now, with the OnlyFans and the Just for Fans, or either the Pornhub or Xtube and all the other sites, I don't even know what the other sites are these days, because most people usually just do OnlyFans or Pornhub. I don't even think Xtube's that popular anymore, actually. But when it comes to hooking up, minus the current situation of the world, before all of this happened, most people weren't really hooking up anyway. I forgot what article it was. You can look it up sometimes. People just weren't hooking up. And I believe that one of the reasons, and this ingrown hair, I don't know if it's ingrown hair, it's something on the back of my neck, because my hair is growing back, which I got to cut it this weekend. And I know some people are listening to this podcast like, what the heck? If you were watching, you could see that I'm doing this, which is how that came out of left field. But anyways, okay, hold on, what was my thought? I got distracted with my hair, or what was this bump that was with my hair. But, okay, so let me start over. Yeah, I don't know what people look at now and stuff, because I got nothing on that. But and I was talking about hooking up. Yeah, you can look up the article wherever it's at. There was an article. But the biggest thing about that is that I believe it's just, when it comes to self-pleasure, it's just more convenient. I really, really believe that. When it comes to hooking up, because you have to, all right, yeah, sometimes you can hop on an app or whatever, whether it's Tinder, whether it's Grindr, or what's the other app? I haven't been on apps in a minute. I'm trying to think. There's another app, and it was really popular. It's, what is the name of that damn app? What is the name of that app? Not Hornet. It's something else. It's like up there with Grindr, and it's for men. And it's not coming to, see, that goes to show I have not my thing. But I'm really trying to think about what that app is now. But when it comes to hopping on these apps and in deciding and doing this and doing that, you have to invest time into it. You have to invest time. Time is precious. And I mentioned this before. I got to take another sip of my tea. Time is precious. You can't get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, you can go into reincarnation and all that other stuff and getting a second chance in life and everything else, which is a whole nother story in itself. And it depends on who you ask and yada, yada, yada. But as for the present timeline, once time is gone, it's gone. Time only moves forward. It doesn't move backwards. Even though with time travel, theoretically, you can time travel backwards, but you can't time travel forward. And that's another show within itself. But I digress. So because time is finite, or let me rephrase, time is infinite. Your time is finite. Because your time is finite, you don't have the luxury to stay and be on, and I know this sounds so crass, to be on the hunt for someone to hook up with. Because it takes time. But if you are into the self-pleasure thing, it just makes it more convenient. Where it's like, oh, okay, let me just log on to OnlyFans. Let me just log on to Pornhub. Let me just log on to X2 or whatever. And you can be done with it. And you don't have to worry about, oh, okay, you're still here? Wow, look at the time. You want to stay tonight? No, I have to work in the morning. So, yeah. Okay, yeah, here's a washcloth. All right. You want something to drink? You didn't get anything to drink before you came over here? So, you don't have to worry about all that stuff when you deal with self-pleasure. And also, it's just, like I said, it's just more convenient. And that's not necessarily just for single people either. I'm talking about in relationships as well. Because I know that I've been in relationships and sometimes I didn't feel the need to bother my significant other. Because when you're in the act of doing something with someone, you have to be aware of what their turn-ons are, what their turn-offs are, how to get them to their moment, because obviously you want to get to your moment. And by moment, we all know what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of, you have to make sure that you're synchronized. You have to make sure that you're in tune with one another. And it's a good thing for those relationships where if you're always in tune with your significant other, where you two can hit the bed or the table or somewhere in whatever your living space is, or out in the park somewhere, because everyone has their fetishes and their thing. Wherever you decide to get it on at, if you are in sync with each other constantly, when you do get it on, more power to you. God bless you. However, most of the time, well, not most of the time, I'll say more time. No, let's see. All right. Let me just phrase it this way. For the times when people aren't in sync, they usually do better by self-pleasuring. Or when people are looking to move things along. Because your significant other, and that's the other thing too, some people can be long-winded. Yeah, I did all that stuff back in the day where I could go 2, 3, 4 hours and all that stuff. Now, after about 30 minutes, I'm good on a hookup. Even though, me and my ex, we could still get it in for hours because we just had that type of sexual chemistry. But for the most part, you're not looking to do that all the time because you don't have the time. So instead of going down that road, instead of disturbing the person that you're in the relationship with, you just handle things yourself. You could say to them, hey, let's make this quick, which some people do, especially those who have kids, because I have friends who have kids and I've heard the stories. They like, okay, we got 10 minutes, let's get it in. And that is that. But at the same time, when you don't even want to go through the whole laying out the game plan that this is going to be short and everything else, when you can just go off somewhere by yourself and do what you have to do, clean up, call it a day, and that's it. Mm-hmm. That's how you look at it. And that's the other thing too. With hooking up with people, especially if it's like a one night stand or something, you don't know what their appetite is. You don't know if they're going to be 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours or whatever. You're not learning any of that until you're engaging with each other. And you are just learning each other's bodies. And you have to deal with all of that. You can have some preliminary, I have to get it out, because if you say it too fast, it won't come out right. Some preliminary things that you can say, okay, this is what I like. I don't like this. I don't like this. I like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And you can have your bullet point checklist before they come over. But when they engage in the process, you don't know how long all that's going to take. And you don't know what personality is coming, no pun intended, or maybe a little pun intended, with all of the stuff that you requested in the preliminary discussion when they walk through that door. So that's why I believe people don't really hook up that much anymore. Before all the stuff going on in the world, they don't hook up that much anymore because of the convenience of self-pleasuring. It's just, you don't have to worry about anything. It's too much. Dealing with relationships, it doesn't matter what level, what type of relationship it is. It doesn't matter if it's a physical relationship, if it's a platonic relationship, if it's a romantic relationship, if it's a work relationship, anything with the word relationship in it, anything where it follows word relationship, anything with relationship, Even the relationship that you have with your pet, even though I'm not an animal person. Every single type of relationship, and you can take this to the bank, requires maintenance. It requires some type of maintenance. Every type of relationship, no matter what it is, it requires some type of maintenance. So with the physical relationship, dealing with that, even if you're dealing with the physical relationship where it's for a one night stand or someone that, oh, the chemistry's there, let's go ahead and make this a regular thing. Well, that's going to still require maintenance. You will not always be in the mood to maintain that. But when you're dealing with just yourself, the maintenance is easy. You know what you need to do to get things done when it comes to self-pleasure. So, that's my opinion, that's my daily thought on, I believe self-pleasure is the reason why people don't hook up as much. So that's all I got. Oh yeah, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook.com/KIRWKC if you're watching this on YouTube or Daily Motion. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell that will let you know when I upload new videos. And of course, I will do a sports episode for the Keeping It Real with KC show this weekend. I'll do a sports episode. That will be that. Something else is happening this weekend, but I'll tell you after I get the check. And by check, I mean the confirmation on that. And that will be good news for all. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to the podcast and downloading the podcast. Those who have been doing that, the support in all the countries, whether it be the United States or Ireland. Shout out to Ireland. I love Ireland. I really appreciate it. So until next time, be blessed.